You didn't stumble here by accident. A greater force has aligned your path to this very moment. Within these pages lies the key to dissolve barriers, awaken hidden strength, and ignite destiny. You found this book because your breakthrough moment has arrived. Since the beginning of time, every soul has awaited a single sacred moment, the instant when everything shifts. A whisper in the heart, a spark in the mind, a surge of knowing that says, now is the time. You are here because your breakthrough moment has arrived. This book is not merely words, it is a vessel of transformation. It has been called into your life by your own longing for more clarity, more purpose, more power, more freedom. The universe does not deal in chance. It deals in resonance. Something within you has magnetized this wisdom, and now it unfolds before you. Breakthroughs rarely appear in the noise of daily life. They emerge in the stillness, in the quiet recognition of truth long forgotten. Every challenge you've faced, every door that closed, every night you doubted your strength. These were not obstacles, but invitations preparing you for this exact threshold. This is not about becoming someone new. It is about remembering who you already are. Beneath layers of fear and limitation, your true self has been waiting, radiant, powerful, and whole. The chapters ahead will not simply guide you, they will unlock you. Each word is a key, each practice a door, and each insight a step into the life you were always meant to live. As you journey forward, release resistance, breathe deeply, trust the process. You are not simply reading a book, you are crossing into destiny. The breakthrough is here, and it belongs to you. Chapter 1. The Whisper That Brought You Here. There are moments in life that defy explanation. You may not remember exactly when it began, but somewhere in the silence of your soul, a whisper started calling you. It was faint at first, like the rustle of leaves in a forgotten forest, yet persistent enough to reach you in the quiet hours between thought and dream. This whisper is why you are here, why these words found you, why your hands hold this book at this precise moment. You may believe you discovered this book, but in truth, it discovered you. The whisper was your soul guiding you to it, your deeper self aligning every circumstance so that today, now, you stand on the edge of something greater than you have ever known. The whisper has always been with you. It spoke in childhood when you dreamed wildly, unbound by doubt. It echoed in moments of longing when you gazed at the night sky and knew you were meant for more than routine existence. It stirred in the aftermath of heartbreak, reminding you that within your wounds lay seeds of strength. And in your darkest nights, when you thought you were alone, it was the whisper that kept you moving forward. This whisper is not random. It is the ancient voice of destiny, the current of life itself, reminding you that your time for breakthrough has arrived. Consider Elira, a seamstress from a coastal town whose life seemed destined for repetition. Each morning she rose before the sun, stitched garments until her eyes grew weary, and collapsed into bed with little hope for change. Yet at night she felt a strange tug, a quiet inner voice that told her, this is not all there is. For months she ignored it, brushing it aside as fantasy. But the whisper persisted. One evening she finally listened. Instead of drowning it out with exhaustion, she allowed herself to sit in silence and feel its pull. That night she dreamed of a radiant fabric unlike any she had seen, shimmering with light. She woke with a knowing that she was meant not only to sew clothes, but to create garments that carried energy, blessings, and protection. Within a year, her work was renowned across kingdoms, not for the material she used, but for the presence it carried. The whisper had always been guiding her, waiting for her to listen, and now it has guided you. Do not dismiss the significance of this moment. A breakthrough is never random. It comes when the soul has prepared itself in unseen ways. Even if the conscious mind doubts, The whisper within you is proof of this readiness. Tonight, before you sleep, sit quietly. Place your hand upon your heart and close your eyes. Ask yourself softly, what has the whisper been trying to tell me? Do not force the answer. Simply allow. Perhaps you will sense a word, a feeling, an image, or nothing but silence. Trust that even in silence, your subconscious is listening. The whisper is not something to chase. It is something to receive. Like wind filling a sail, it will carry you where you need to go. And now, with each page, you are stepping into the current it has been urging you toward all along. Remember this: the whisper never lies. It is your truest compass. Follow it, and it will always lead you home. Chapter 2: The Sacred Threshold. Every journey begins with a crossing. To step into a breakthrough, you must pass through a threshold where your old self dissolves and your truest self emerges. This moment is not merely symbolic, it is sacred, for it marks the death of what no longer serves you and the birth of what always lived within you. The threshold is rarely comfortable. It may come disguised as uncertainty, restlessness, or even chaos. Many resist it, clinging to the familiar even when it no longer brings life. Yet those who dare to step forward find that the threshold is not an ending, but a beginning. Consider Marcus, a merchant weighed down by years of predictable trade. He sold goods in the same market, greeted the same customers, and earned just enough to survive. Yet within him a fire burned, a desire to expand beyond the boundaries of his small town. When an opportunity arose to sell his goods in distant lands, fear gripped him. To leave meant risking failure, ridicule, even ruin. But deep within, he knew this was the threshold. One night, as he sat in his quiet home, he envisioned two doors before him. One led to the comfort of the known, the other to the unknown, filled with promise and peril. With trembling breath, he stepped through the latter. That decision reshaped not only his fortune, but his identity. He became known far and wide, not merely as a merchant, but as a visionary. The sacred threshold requires courage. You stand upon it now. By reading these words, you have already begun crossing. The question is, will you continue? Ritual can aid the crossing. Tonight, light a single candle before you sleep. Let it represent your old self burning away. Whisper aloud 3 truths: what you release, what you claim, and what you invite. Speak with conviction, for your subconscious listens most intently in these moments before slumber. As the flame flickers, feel the energy of transition fill your room, then blow it out, symbolizing the close of one chapter and the beginning of another. Every threshold feels like a test, but it is truly an initiation. By stepping forward, you are not losing who you are reclaiming who you were always meant to be. Chapter 3: Unveiling the Illusion of Limitations. The greatest chains are not those placed by others, but those forged in the mind. Limitations, though they seem real, are illusions crafted by fear, doubt, and years of inherited belief. They appear solid, but like shadows, they vanish when light is cast upon them. Vivian, a potter's daughter, grew up hearing her family say, "We are poor, and we always will be." These words seeped into her like dye into fabric, coloring her every thought. For years, she believed her dreams of creating great works of art were impossible. Yet one night, as she shaped clay by lamplight, she heard the whisper, "What if the limitation is not real?" The thought startled her, but it lingered. She began questioning every belief she had accepted without proof. Why must she remain poor? Why must her art remain hidden? Why must her potential remain bound? With each question, a chain broke. She realized her limitations were inherited illusions, not unshakable truths. Within months, her work adorned the halls of noble families, her name spoken with reverence. Limitations thrive in silence. They wither when exposed. You too carry beliefs that whisper falsely. You are not enough. You cannot succeed. Others are chosen, but not you. These are illusions, no more real than smoke in the wind. Your practice tonight, write down 3 beliefs that have held you captive. Then, one by one, challenge them. Ask yourself, is this truly mine, or was it given to me? If it was given, release it. Burn the paper if you wish, watching the illusion dissolve into ash. As you sleep, affirm, I am free from false limits. I step into infinite possibility. The only barrier is belief, and belief can be rewritten. When you unveil illusion, you awaken power. Chapter 4. The Language of Destiny. Destiny does not shout. It speaks in symbols, in whispers, in synchronicities that appear so ordinary they are easy to dismiss. Yet beneath their subtlety lies the language of the universe itself, guiding you toward your highest path. To hear destiny, you must first learn to listen. Clara, a young woman from a quiet mountain town, once believed her life had no greater meaning beyond tending her family's vineyard. She dismissed the strange patterns that appeared around her, the way certain numbers recurred, the same bird alighting on her windowsill every morning, strangers speaking phrases that echoed her private thoughts. But over time, the signs grew too clear to ignore. One evening, after weeks of confusion, she dreamed of a silver key glowing in the dark. When she awoke, she found herself drawn to the old chest in her grandmother's attic. Inside lay journals filled with guidance and rituals for cultivating abundance. From that moment forward, her path shifted. The vineyard prospered, her life expanded, and she knew destiny had always been speaking. It was she who had not been listening. The language of destiny is not bound to words. It weaves itself through synchronicities, dreams, symbols, and subtle feelings. The song that plays on the radio at the perfect time, the book that falls from the shelf, the stranger whose words answer your secret question, these are not accidents. They are invitations. Destiny is speaking to you now. Even your discovery of this book is one of its signs. You may think it coincidence, but your deeper self knows better. Tonight, before sleep, ask your subconscious, show me the language of my destiny. Keep a notebook beside your bed. As dreams and images arrive, write them down at once, no matter how trivial they seem. Often, the most ordinary symbol carries the most extraordinary guidance. Remember this truth. Destiny rarely screams. It prefers to whisper, and those who learn to listen walk with power. Chapter 5. The Power Hidden in Pain. Pain has a strange way of disguising itself as the enemy, when in truth it is often the messenger of transformation. Every heartbreak, every loss, every wound has carried within it the seed of your becoming. To reject pain is to reject the very force that sculpts you into strength. Elias, a once proud blacksmith, lost everything when fire consumed his workshop. For weeks he wandered in despair, cursing the heavens for his misfortune. Yet one night as he dreamt, he saw the fire not as destruction, but as purification. In his vision, the flames burned away his old identity, leaving him free to craft anew. When he awoke, he felt a strange calm. He rebuilt, not as a blacksmith, but as a creator of sacred tools that carried blessing and protection. His tragedy became the doorway to his destiny. Pain does not come to destroy you. It comes to awaken you. The wound opens what comfort cannot. It teaches resilience, compassion, and depth. And when you face it with courage, pain transforms into wisdom. Think of your own life. The disappointments you thought would break you, did they not in some way shape you into who you are now? The pain you feared you could not survive, did it not eventually reveal a strength you didn't know you possessed? The practice is not to avoid pain, but to transmute it. Tonight, as you lie in bed, bring to mind one painful memory that still lingers. Instead of resisting it, breathe into it. Ask, what gift were you carrying for me? Imagine the pain dissolving into golden light, transforming into energy you now carry as power. Every scar is a map of strength. Every wound is a seed of breakthrough. The power hidden in your pain is waiting to be claimed. Chapter 6. Breaking the Chains of Fear. Fear is the oldest guardian of the threshold. It appears whenever you are about to step into something greater, whispering reasons to stay small, to stay safe, to remain unchanged. Yet fear is not proof you should stop. It is proof you are on the brink of breakthrough. Seraphim, a scholar of ancient texts, long dreamed of sharing his knowledge with the world. But every time he imagined speaking before others, fear tightened around his chest like iron chains. His voice trembled, his courage faltered, and he returned to silence. For years he remained bound. Then one evening an elder told him, "Fear is not your enemy. It is the lock on the gate of your destiny, and every lock is meant to be opened." That night Seraphim stood before his mirror, shaking, and whispered, "I will not let fear silence me any more." Though his voice trembled, he spoke. Night after night he repeated this ritual, until the trembling became strength. Within a year his words lit fires of transformation in countless souls. Fear loses its grip when you face it. The more you resist it, the stronger it grows. But when you meet fear with presence, it shrinks, revealing itself as smoke and shadow. You too carry fears. Fear of failure, of rejection, of not being enough. But these are not truths. They are walls built by the past, and every wall can be dismantled. Your practice tonight: write down the fear that holds you most tightly. Sit with it in silence. Do not fight it. Simply breathe into it. Whisper aloud, "I see you, and I am not afraid of you anymore." Feel the chains loosen with each breath. Fear is not a signal to stop. It is the sign you are exactly where you need to be. Every chain you break reveals a new horizon, and beyond fear lies the life you were born to live. Chapter 7. The Moment of Choice. There always comes a moment when the universe waits in stillness, watching to see which path you will take. The moment of choice is not about chance, it is about alignment. At such a moment, your soul presents you with two doors. One is the familiar, the safe, the known. The other is unmarked, wrapped in uncertainty, leading into mystery. The decision is yours, and it shapes everything that follows. Consider Helena, a teacher in a small coastal town who had grown weary of repeating lessons to students who never seemed to listen. Day after day she longed to write, to share her wisdom with more than the handful of children who sat in her wooden classroom. Yet fear told her she had no right to dream bigger. Her life felt small, contained by the walls around her. Then came her moment of choice. A visiting scholar invited her to contribute her writings to a collection that would be shared across kingdoms. In that instant, Helena faced her doors. Remain in the safety of her known life, or step into the unmarked one where failure was possible. But so was greatness. That night she sat by her candle and listened. Her heart whispered, "Choose the unknown." With trembling hands, she accepted. Years later, her words had traveled far beyond her imagination, guiding souls she never met. The moment of choice is sacred. It is where destiny and free will meet. The universe will open the door, but you must walk through it. Your practice tonight: reflect on the choices before you. Where are you hesitating between comfort and growth? Close your eyes, see the two doors, and ask yourself, which door aligns with my highest self? Whisper your answer before sleep, trusting that your subconscious will carry it forward. Remember, hesitation feeds stagnation, but choice ignites destiny. The moment of choice is the turning point of every breakthrough. Chapter 8. Awakening the Inner Flame. Within you burns a flame that has never gone out, Though storms of doubt may have tried to smother it, though neglect may have left it hidden under ash, the flame persists. It is the spark of divine power, the inner fire of creation itself, waiting to be awakened. Jareth, a humble stonemason, knew only the heaviness of labor. His hands were calloused, his back bent, his spirit weary. Yet each night as he slept, he dreamed of fire. A torch carried through dark halls, a blaze roaring upon mountaintops, a light so bright it shattered shadows. At first, he dismissed these dreams as meaningless, but the fire kept returning. One evening, as he worked alone, exhaustion overtook him. He closed his eyes and whispered, "If there is a fire within me, let me feel it." To his surprise, warmth bloomed in his chest. A subtle radiance filled him, so undeniable he dropped his tools and stood in awe. From that night forward, he carved not only stone but sacred symbols, inspired by the inner flame that had been lit within. His work became a beacon for all who saw it. The inner flame is your life force, your creative essence, your soul's power. When ignored, life feels heavy, mechanical, empty. But when you awaken it, you walk with energy, vision, and magnetism. People sense it. Opportunities flow to it. The universe responds to it. Tonight, you will awaken your flame. Sit quietly in darkness. Place your hand over your heart. Breathe deeply, imagining each inhale feeding a spark within your chest. With each breath, see it glow brighter until it becomes a radiant flame of golden light. Whisper, "I awaken my inner fire." Feel the warmth spread through your body. Then, as you drift into sleep, trust that this flame will continue burning brightly, guiding your dreams. Your flame is your power. To awaken it is to remember who you are. Chapter 9. The Law of Resonance. The universe does not respond to words alone. It responds to frequency, to vibration, to the resonance of your being. You do not attract what you wish for, you attract what you are. This is the law of resonance, the hidden current beneath every manifestation. Beatrice, a struggling artist, once prayed each night for recognition, yet in her heart she carried doubt. Her words begged for success, but her vibration sang of failure. For years, nothing changed. Then one night she understood, it is not my words, but my frequency that creates. She stopped begging and began embodying. She lit candles in her studio, surrounded herself with beauty, and each night painted as though the world already cherished her art. She felt, breathed, and lived in the resonance of success. Within months, collectors sought her work, drawn not just to her paintings, but to the energy they carried. Resonance is the bridge between intention and reality. Imagine a tuning fork. When struck, it causes another fork of the same pitch to vibrate without touch. So too does your energy ripple outward, calling forth matching experiences. If you carry fear, you resonate with fear. If you embody gratitude, you resonate with abundance. The practice is not to force the universe, but to tune yourself. Tonight, choose a desire. Instead of imagining it far away, embody its vibration now. If you desire love, feel love in your chest. If you desire abundance, walk through your room with gratitude for every object you own. Speak aloud. I resonate with my desire now. As you drift into sleep, imagine your body glowing with the frequency of your chosen reality, radiating outward into the universe. Trust that what resonates must return. The law of resonance is simple. Become the frequency of what you seek, and it will seek you. Chapter 10. Unlocking the Subconscious Vault. Beneath the surface of your waking mind lies a vast chamber, a vault more powerful than any fortress, more valuable than any treasure house. Within it are stored every memory, every belief, every pattern that has ever shaped you. This is your subconscious, silent yet sovereign, quietly directing the course of your life. For most, the vault remains locked. They live as prisoners of its hidden scripts, repeating cycles without understanding why. They believe fate controls them, when in truth it is the unexamined programs of the subconscious guiding every step. Yet for those who learn to unlock the vault, an infinite power is revealed, the power to rewrite reality itself. Consider Theodore, a timid librarian who dreamed of writing books yet never believed he was capable. Each time he sat to write, doubts arose. You are not good enough. No one will read this. You will fail. He thought these were his thoughts, but they were not. They were the echoes of old voices, stored in his subconscious vault since childhood. One evening, desperate for change, Theodore began practicing nightly affirmations. At first they felt false. I am a writer. My words carry value. My voice matters. But he spoke them softly before sleep, night after night, planting them like seeds in fertile soil. Slowly the vault responded. New beliefs took root. Doubt weakened. Confidence bloomed. Within a year, Theodore completed his manuscript, and his work touched countless lives. Your subconscious accepts whatever is impressed upon it, whether by fear or faith. The key is repetition in the twilight state, when the vault door swings open and your mind is most receptive. Your practice tonight: before sleep, speak 3 new truths aloud, not as hope, but as fact. I am abundant. I am loved. I am powerful. Feel them deeply as though already real. Then drift into slumber, knowing your subconscious will carry them into tomorrow's architecture. The vault is not your enemy. It is your greatest ally. Unlock it, and you unlock the life waiting for you. Chapter 11. The Blueprint of Belief. Every building stands upon a blueprint, a design unseen but essential. Your life is no different. What you experience daily is the structure, but beneath it lies the blueprint, your beliefs. These invisible patterns dictate what you allow, what you resist, what you expect, and ultimately what you create. Elena, a gifted healer, could mend the wounds of others, yet remained perpetually ill herself. She sought remedies, prayers, and rituals, but nothing worked. One night in a dream, she walked through a house filled with broken walls and cracked ceilings. A voice whispered, "This is not your body. It is your belief." She awoke with a revelation. Her illness was not punishment, but the echo of her inner conviction that she was undeserving of health. She began rewriting her blueprint. Each night she envisioned a house strong and radiant, its foundation glowing with light. She whispered, "I am worthy of vitality. My body is whole. My health is my natural state." Slowly her energy returned. Her body followed the new design her beliefs had created. Beliefs are not truths. They are agreements you accepted, often unconsciously. Some were handed to you by family, culture, or society. Others were formed in moments of pain. But every belief can be examined, dismantled, and rewritten. Think of your own blueprint. Does it support abundance or scarcity? Love or loneliness? Power or powerlessness? What you live today is the house your beliefs have built. Tonight's practice: write one limiting belief on paper. Perhaps I am not enough, or success is for others. Beneath it, write the new design: I am more than enough. Success flows naturally to me. Read the new statement 3 times before sleep, feeling its truth. Place the paper under your pillow, allowing your subconscious to carry it into the dream realm where blueprints are drawn. Your beliefs are not fixed stone. They are sketches, and you hold the pen. Chapter 12. The Frequency of Gratitude. Gratitude is more than a polite word. It is the highest frequency of resonance, the golden note in the symphony of creation. When you embody gratitude, you align with abundance itself. The universe cannot help but respond to its song. Jonas, a farmer whose crops had failed for 3 consecutive seasons, lived under the weight of despair. Each night he fell into bed cursing his land, his fortune, and his life. But then he met a wandering sage who told him, "Your soil mirrors your soul. If you feed it despair, it will yield emptiness. Feed it gratitude, and it will flourish." Though skeptical, Jonas tried. Each night he spoke aloud 3 blessings. "I am grateful for the rain that will come. I am grateful for the strength of my hands. I am grateful for the sunrise that brings a new day." At first it felt hollow, but slowly he began to feel lighter. His eyes noticed small blessings he had overlooked: the resilience of a sprouting plant, the laughter of his children, the warmth of his fire. Within months, his crops revived and abundance returned to his household. Gratitude shifts perception. It trains your mind to see abundance where once you saw lack, and what you focus on expands. Gratitude is not only a practice, it is a magnet. Tonight, as you prepare for sleep, think of 3 blessings from your day. Speak them aloud, no matter how small: the smile of a stranger, the taste of a meal, the comfort of your bed. As you lie down, place your hand on your heart and whisper, "Thank you, thank you, thank you." Allow gratitude to be the last frequency you carry into sleep, so it may echo through your dreams and ripple into your tomorrow. Gratitude is the language of abundance, and when you speak it fluently, life answers with miracles. Chapter 13, The Mirror of Self-Love. There is no breakthrough more profound than the discovery that the love you have always sought from the world has been waiting within you all along. Self-love is not vanity, it is not indulgence. It is the recognition of your own sacred worth, the acknowledgement that you are both the seed and the blossom of divine creation. Yet for many, the mirror becomes a place of judgment. Each line, each flaw, each imperfection is magnified until love is forgotten and replaced by shame. The world teaches us to measure ourselves against impossible standards, and in doing so, we forget the truth that we are not here to compare but to embody. Consider Vivian, a young woman from a coastal village who could never look into her own reflection without sorrow. She had inherited her mother's deep eyes and her father's sharp chin, yet all she saw were reminders of unworthiness. Each night she whispered cruel words to herself until her spirit grew dim. But one evening, guided by her grandmother's wisdom, she lit a candle and stood before her mirror. Instead of criticism, she spoke gentleness. "I honor my journey. I embrace my strength. I celebrate my beauty." At first the words felt hollow, yet night after night she repeated them until they began to root in her subconscious. Slowly her reflection changed, not because her features altered, but because her eyes finally recognized the love that had always been there. Self-love transforms everything it touches. When you see yourself as worthy, relationships shift, opportunities align, and your energy glows with unmistakable radiance. Your practice tonight. Before sleep, find a mirror. Gaze into your own eyes, the windows of eternity, and speak 3 statements of love. They may be simple. I am worthy. I am beautiful. I am enough. Then, as you lie in bed, place your hand upon your heart and whisper, "I am the love I seek." Let these words carry you into sleep, where they will bloom into the architecture of tomorrow. To love yourself is not arrogance. It is alignment. It is remembering that you are sacred. Chapter 14, The Shadow's Gift. Every human carries a shadow, the parts of ourselves we hide, deny, or fear. These shadows are not enemies, though we often treat them as such. They are messengers, carrying the very keys to our wholeness. What you resist in yourself only grows stronger. What you embrace transforms into power. Armand, a respected merchant, lived a life of discipline and order. To the outside world, he was admired, but within he hid a deep anger born from betrayal in his youth. He suppressed it, fearing that if others saw this darkness, his reputation would crumble. Yet the more he repressed it, the more it poisoned his relationships and clouded his joy. One night he dreamed of a black wolf following him through the forest. Terrified, he tried to run, but the wolf pursued him endlessly. Finally exhausted, he turned to face it. To his surprise, the wolf lay at his feet, eyes filled not with menace, but loyalty. He awoke with a revelation. His shadow was not here to devour him, but to guide him. From that day, Armand began sitting in silence, acknowledging his anger instead of rejecting it. He let it speak, listened to its story, and honored its presence. In doing so, his rage softened into strength. He discovered passion and power hidden in the very emotion he once feared. Your shadows, too, carry gifts. The trait you condemn may hide your greatest strength. Fear may hold courage. Anger may hold passion. Sadness may hold wisdom. Your practice tonight: sit in silence and ask yourself, what part of me have I rejected? As it arises, do not resist. Instead, breathe into it. Whisper, I see you, I honor you, I welcome your gift. Then drift into sleep, inviting your dreams to reveal the wisdom hidden in your shadow. The shadow is not your curse, it is your hidden teacher. Its gift is wholeness. Chapter 15. The Alchemy of Vision. Every creation begins twice, first in the mind, then in the world. Vision is the bridge that carries desire into reality. Without vision, dreams remain shapeless. With vision, the invisible becomes inevitable. Leora, a humble candle maker, once dreamed of illuminating her entire city. Yet she lived in poverty, her hands blistered from long hours of work. Her neighbors mocked her ambition, but each night, before sleep, she closed her eyes and saw the city streets bathed in her light. She felt the warmth of the glow, heard the laughter of people gathering beneath it, tasted the sweetness of success. She did not merely wish, she envisioned, and her subconscious, unable to distinguish between imagined and real, began working to align her world. Opportunities appeared: a wealthy patron, a vacant workshop, the support of neighbors she once thought against her. Within years, her vision became reality, and the city shone with her candles. Vision is not fantasy, it is alchemy. It turns unseen energy into material form. The clearer and more emotionally charged your vision, the faster it manifests. Tonight, you will practice this alchemy. As you lie in bed, close your eyes and create a vivid image of your desire as though already achieved. Engage all senses. If your dream is abundance, imagine the weight of gold coins in your palm, the scent of fresh bread bought with ease, the laughter of joy. If your dream is love, feel the warmth of an embrace, hear the sound of shared laughter, see the light in a partner's eyes. Speak aloud. It is done. It is real. It is mine. Fall asleep with this image woven into your subconscious, knowing it will continue shaping your tomorrow. Vision is the blueprint of destiny. What you see with clarity, you will one day hold with certainty. Chapter 16. Becoming the Architect of Reality. Life is not something that simply happens to you. It is something you design, consciously or unconsciously, with every thought, every belief, every action. To live unaware is to wander through a house built by someone else's blueprints. To awaken is to recognize that you are the architect, and reality bends to the design you create. Cyril, a carpenter in a village by the river, once lived by chance. He accepted what came, never questioning why his life seemed filled with lack. His days were dictated by circumstance, customers, seasons, misfortune. He believed he had no control, only the ability to endure. But one evening, an elder sat with him and said, "Every table you build begins in your mind. Why do you not design your life the same way?" The words struck him with force. That night, Cyril took parchment and began sketching, not of wood, but of his future. He wrote what he desired, a thriving workshop, a warm home, a family filled with laughter. Each night he imagined it with vivid detail. Within months, his life shifted. Clients appeared, his work expanded, love came into his days. What once seemed luck was revealed as design. To be the architect of your reality, you must first decide what you wish to build. Then, you must construct it through thought, belief, and consistent focus. Like an architect who sees a cathedral where others see stone, you must hold vision where others see only limitation. Your practice tonight. Before sleep, close your eyes and envision your life as a house. What does it look like? Is it strong, radiant, expansive, or fragile, dim, and confined? If you find weakness, redesign. See yourself rebuilding with golden beams and unshakable foundations. Whisper, I am the architect of my reality. I design with intention. I create with power. Fall asleep within the home of your choosing, knowing it will begin forming in the waking world. Reality is not a cage, it is clay, and you are the sculptor. Chapter 17, The Rhythm of Surrender. There is a rhythm in the universe, a dance of expansion and release, of rising and falling, of giving and letting go. Those who resist this rhythm struggle. Those who align with it flow like rivers, carried effortlessly to the ocean of their desires. The secret is surrender, not as defeat, but as harmony. Isolde, a skilled musician, once tried endlessly to master a song passed down from generations. Night after night she practiced, forcing her fingers against the strings, her body stiff with frustration. The more she pushed, the further mastery eluded her. Exhausted, she set her instrument down one evening and whispered, I surrender. That night she dreamed of herself floating on waves, her fingers moving lightly, effortlessly, as though the music played her instead of the other way around. She woke, picked up her instrument, and played with a fluidity she had never known. Surrender does not mean giving up your desires. It means releasing the desperate grasping that blocks their arrival. The soil cannot produce fruit when clenched in fists. It must be open, willing to receive the seed. In the same way, your subconscious works most powerfully when you soften your resistance and trust the flow of life. Consider your own struggles. Where do you grasp so tightly that you choke the very dream you long for? Fear often hides beneath control, whispering that if you let go, everything will collapse. Yet the opposite is true. When you surrender, you align with greater wisdom, and the universe moves in ways you could not orchestrate alone. Your practice tonight: lie in bed and imagine the burdens of your day in your hands. Clench your fists tightly, feeling the weight. Then slowly, with deep breath, release and open your palms. Whisper, I surrender to the rhythm of life. I trust the flow of my destiny. Feel a soft wave move through you, loosening every knot of resistance. Fall asleep in this rhythm, knowing that life moves on your behalf when you align with surrender. To surrender is not weakness. It is wisdom. It is remembering that you are not the river's current. You are the river itself. Chapter 18. The Ancestral Flame. You are not alone in your journey. Within your very blood flows the memory of those who walked before you, the trials they endured, the wisdom they carried, the strength they cultivated. This is the ancestral flame, a light that has never gone out, passed from generation to generation, waiting for you to claim it. Winifred, a weaver, felt burdened by the weight of poverty. Every attempt to prosper crumbled. She whispered, "Perhaps I am cursed." But one night, as she slept, she dreamed of her grandmother, who had lived through famine yet never lost her spirit. In the dream, her grandmother handed her a torch and said, "This is not your curse. This is your inheritance of strength. Take it and rise." She awoke with tears on her face, her heart blazing with a newfound fire. From that moment, her work flourished, fueled by the resilience of those who came before. Your ancestors live within you. Their blood runs through your veins, their victories and defeats encoded in your DNA. Science calls it epigenetics. Mystics call it lineage memory. Whatever the name, the truth is the same. You carry within you not only their wounds, but also their wisdom. To awaken the ancestral flame is to draw upon centuries of strength and allow it to guide your path. Tonight, create a sacred moment. Place a candle at your bedside. As its light flickers, whisper the names of those you know who came before, or simply say, "Ancestors of my blood, I honor you." Ask them to share their strength, their wisdom, their blessings. As you drift into sleep, imagine a golden cord stretching back through time, connecting you to countless souls whose lives paved the way for yours. Feel their flame igniting your heart, passing into your dreams, guiding you forward. You are not starting from nothing. You are the continuation of a story, the bearer of an eternal flame. Walk with it proudly, for the strength of generations lives in you. Chapter 19, The Circle of Courage. There are moments when life invites you to step into the unknown, yet the doorway is guarded by fear. Courage is not the absence of fear. It is the decision to walk forward, even as fear trembles within you. It is the circle you must step into, knowing that beyond it lies your breakthrough. Darius, a fisherman, knew the tides better than any man in his village. For years he dreamed of sailing beyond the horizon, convinced there were waters richer than the shallow coast he knew. Yet fear bound him. He told himself stories. The sea is too dangerous, my boat too small, my strength too fragile. These beliefs kept him close to shore, casting nets into waters that grew thinner with each season. One night he dreamt of standing within a circle drawn in the sand. Around him howled shadows of fear, whispering of storms, monsters, and ruin. But within the circle he felt a strange calm. A voice spoke. "The circle is not a cage, but a sanctuary. Stand firm, and fear cannot touch you." When he awoke, he drew a circle in the sand by the shore, stood within it, and whispered, "I choose courage." The next day he sailed beyond the horizon, and what he found there transformed not only his life, but the fortunes of his entire village. Courage is a frequency. When you align with it, fear loses its power. The shadows shrink, and you remember who you are. Your practice tonight, as you prepare for sleep, imagine a circle of golden light surrounding your bed. Step into it in your mind's eye. Whisper 3 fears aloud, then declare, "Even with these fears, I choose courage." As you drift into sleep, feel the circle protecting you, infusing your dreams with bravery. Courage does not mean the absence of trembling. It means the choice to step forward anyway. And every time you choose courage, the circle expands and your destiny opens wider. Chapter 20. The Bridge of Faith. There are paths in life that cannot be measured, weighed, or calculated. They are crossed not by logic, but by faith. Faith is the invisible bridge between the seen and the unseen, the known and the unknown. Without it, you remain on the shore of safety. With it, you step into the miraculous. Amara, a healer, longed to open a sanctuary where the weary could find rest. Yet she had no money, no land, no connections. When she told others her dream, they laughed gently and said, "It is impossible." For months she doubted, convincing herself to remain small. Then one night she dreamed of a great chasm. On one side she stood clutching her fears. On the other side was her sanctuary, glowing with light. Between them stretched no bridge, only emptiness. A voice whispered, "The bridge will appear only when you step forward." She awoke trembling, but knew what she must do. She began acting as though her sanctuary already existed, speaking of it, preparing for it, holding faith. Within weeks, a benefactor appeared. Land was offered, help was given, and the sanctuary came to life. Faith is not blind. It is sight beyond sight. It sees what the eyes cannot, yet what the soul knows is already true. Your practice tonight. Before sleep, call to mind one dream that feels impossible. See it clearly on the other side of a vast chasm. Then, in your imagination, step forward onto the invisible bridge. Whisper, I trust the unseen. I walk by faith, not fear. Feel the bridge forming beneath your feet with each step. Drift into slumber, walking confidently toward the reality you have already chosen. Faith is the bridge. Walk it, and the impossible becomes inevitable. Chapter 21. The Language of Energy. The universe speaks in vibration. Every thought, every emotion, every word is energy radiating outward, shaping the reality that surrounds you. To master your energy is to master your life. To ignore it is to live as though deaf to the language of creation itself. Lucien, a quiet scholar, often wondered why his life felt heavy, filled with resistance. He studied diligently, spoke politely, and worked hard, yet nothing flowed. One night he visited a temple where monks meditated in silence. He noticed their calm, the light in their eyes, the way abundance seemed to follow them without effort. Curious, he asked one monk why his own life felt blocked. The monk smiled and said, "You speak words of peace, but your energy carries frustration. The universe responds not to your words, but to your vibration." That night, Lucien sat in silence, listening not to his thoughts, but to the energy beneath them. He realized he carried resentment, doubt, and fear, even when his lips spoke hope. Slowly, he began shifting, choosing gratitude, radiating kindness, breathing calm into his being. As his energy changed, so did his world. Doors opened, opportunities flowed, relationships deepened. He learned the secret: energy is the true language of life. Your practice tonight: sit quietly before bed. Place one hand on your chest, one on your stomach. Breathe deeply, sensing the energy flowing through you. Ask yourself, what energy am I radiating? If you feel heaviness, imagine it dissolving into golden light. Whisper, I choose the frequency of love. I choose the frequency of abundance. I choose the frequency of peace. As you fall asleep, see yourself glowing like a radiant sun, your energy pulsing outward, attracting everything that matches its frequency. The universe is not responding to what you say. It is responding to who you are. Learn to speak the language of energy, and you will become fluent in creation itself. Chapter 22. Unlocking Intuition's Compass. Within you exists a compass more accurate than any map, more trustworthy than any chart, more precise than any calculation. This compass is your intuition, the quiet voice that whispers truths before evidence appears, the inner knowing that guides you when logic falters. Too often, it is dismissed as imagination or ignored in favor of reason, but those who learn to trust it discover they are never truly lost. Celine, a merchant's daughter, had always felt torn between what her family expected and what her heart whispered. Her parents wished her to continue the business, but her soul longed for healing work. Each time she considered stepping away, fear clouded her. She told herself, I must be practical. My intuition is foolish. Yet the feeling persisted, returning in dreams, in symbols, in the tug of her spirit. One night she dreamed of walking through a dense forest without a lantern. Panic grew until she looked down and saw a faint glow radiating from her chest. When she placed her hand upon it, the light expanded, illuminating her path. She awoke trembling, realizing her dream had shown her what she had denied. Her compass was always within. From then on, she began practicing listening. She would pause before making choices, close her eyes, and sense the subtle pull of her intuition. Sometimes it came as a feeling in her gut, other times as a picture in her mind, other times as a whisper of words, not her own. Each time she followed, life opened in miraculous ways. She became a healer whose presence alone lifted burdens from those who came to her. Your intuition is not random. It is your soul's guidance system, tuned to wisdom far beyond what your mind can perceive. Logic looks at what is. Intuition sees what is becoming. Tonight, as you lie in bed, place your hand upon your heart and whisper, "Show me my compass." Ask for guidance in one area of your life where confusion lingers. Then release it, trusting that your answer may come in a dream, a symbol, or a quiet knowing upon waking. The compass of intuition is subtle, but once you learn its language, it will never lead you astray. Trust it, and your steps will always align with destiny. Chapter 23. The Silence That Speaks. In a world filled with noise, voices, opinions, distractions, silence often feels uncomfortable, even threatening. Yet silence is the language of the soul, the place where truth is heard most clearly. It is not empty, it is full of presence, of wisdom, of clarity. To seek breakthrough without silence is to search for treasure while ignoring the map drawn before you. Aurelius, a city dweller, lived surrounded by constant clamor. Merchants shouted in markets, children played in crowded alleys, bells rang from towers. His mind mirrored the chaos around him, restless, never still. He prayed for guidance, yet heard nothing but the noise of his own thoughts. One evening, exhausted, he left the city and walked into the hills. As night fell, he found himself under a canopy of stars, alone, surrounded by stillness. At first, the silence roared louder than the markets he had left. It made him uneasy, as though stripped of all defense. But as he surrendered to it, something shifted. Within the quiet, he heard a voice, not of sound, but of presence, calm and certain. "You already know the way." It was not the booming answer he expected, but the gentle reminder he needed. From that night, Aurelius began seeking silence daily. He would rise before dawn, sit in stillness, and let his thoughts settle like sediment in water. The clarity that emerged guided him more surely than any advice he had ever sought. Silence is where the subconscious speaks most clearly. It is where the noise of fear dissolves and the whisper of wisdom rises. Your practice tonight. Before bed, turn off all lights, sit in complete quiet, and breathe. Resist the urge to fill the silence with words or thoughts. Simply sit, listening. Whisper, "I welcome the silence that speaks." Then lie down and drift into sleep, carrying silence into your dreams. In silence, you will discover that the answers you seek are not far away. They have been waiting in the quiet within you all along. Chapter 24. The Soul Contract. Every soul enters this world with a contract, a purpose inscribed before birth. You may not remember signing it, but its echoes move through your life as persistent desires, unexplained pulls, and the sense that you were made for something greater. When you align with this contract, life flows with meaning. When you resist it, life feels heavy and misaligned. Caroline, a gifted singer, once tried to live her life as a merchant, taking over her father's shop after his passing. Though she was skilled in trade, her heart ached. Each night she dreamed of standing on a stage, her voice weaving spells of healing. Yet she ignored the call, convinced duty outweighed desire. The more she resisted, the more her body grew weary, her spirit dull. One night she dreamed of a scroll unfurling in front of her. Written in glowing letters were the words, "You came to heal with sound. This is your contract." She awoke weeping, the weight of realization pressing into her chest. The next day she sang openly for the first time in years. Her voice moved those who heard it to tears, and doors began opening for her to share her gift. Your soul contract may not reveal itself as dramatically, but its pull is constant. It appears in the activities that make you lose track of time, in the longings that never fade, in the dreams that return again and again. Your practice tonight, before sleep, sit in quiet reflection and whisper, "Show me my soul contract." Imagine a scroll glowing with light descending into your hands. See it unfurl. Do not force the words. Simply allow whatever images, feelings, or impressions arise. Then drift into sleep, trusting your dreams to reveal fragments of your sacred purpose. Your soul is not here by accident. You came with intention. To remember your contract is to awaken to the life you were always meant to live. Chapter 25. The Gratitude Amplification Chamber. Gratitude is more than a pleasant feeling. It is a sacred chamber within the soul, where blessings multiply, a frequency that calls forth more of itself. When gratitude fills you, life cannot help but respond with abundance, for the universe always amplifies the vibration you carry. Evangeline, a widow living in a small stone cottage, had spent years mourning her losses. Her home felt empty, her heart heavy, her days long. Each evening she whispered prayers for change, yet nothing shifted. She felt forgotten, as though life had passed her by. One night she dreamed she was standing in a vast chamber made of crystal, each wall reflecting fragments of her life. At first she saw only sorrow, faces of those she had lost, memories of hardship. But then she noticed that whenever she whispered thank you, the reflection shifted. The crystal walls began glowing with light, and new images emerged. Her child's laughter from years ago, the taste of fresh bread, the warmth of sun on her skin. With every expression of gratitude, the chamber brightened until it radiated golden brilliance. She woke with tears of realization. From then on, Evangeline began practicing gratitude before bed. She named 3 blessings each night, no matter how small. Slowly her heart grew lighter. Opportunities to connect returned. Neighbors offered companionship. Abundance, which had once seemed unreachable, began flowing back into her life. Her chamber of gratitude had opened, and life filled it with treasures. Gratitude is not about denying pain or pretending all is perfect. It is about choosing to see what is good, even in the midst of struggle. This choice shifts your vibration and calls more goodness into your orbit. Your practice tonight. Before sleep, speak aloud 3 things you are grateful for today. Then place your hand upon your heart and whisper, I rest in the chamber of gratitude. My blessings multiply as I sleep. Visualize yourself lying within a crystal chamber glowing with golden light, each reflection around you filled with the blessings of your life. Drift into slumber knowing that gratitude will echo into your dreams and into tomorrow. The chamber of gratitude is always open, waiting for you to enter. Step inside, and abundance will magnify. Chapter 26. The Infinite Possibility Portal. There are no limits. In truth, only in perception. The universe itself is infinite, and within you exists a portal to that infinity. Each night as you approach sleep, you stand at the threshold of boundless possibility. Most pass through unaware, but those who enter consciously find they can shape realities beyond imagination. Octavian, a fisherman weary of his small life, often dreamed of distant shores. Yet he convinced himself that greatness was for others. One night, exhausted, he fell into a deep sleep and dreamed of a vast hall filled with countless doors. Each door shimmered with possibility. One revealed him as a ship captain, another as a teacher, another as a wanderer exploring unknown lands. At first, he hesitated, believing he was unworthy to choose. But a voice whispered, every door is open to you. The only lock is belief. With trembling hand, he chose one door and stepped through. He awoke filled with energy, determined to change his life. Within years, he became a renowned explorer, known across seas. The portal of infinite possibility exists for you as well. It opens when the mind softens and the subconscious awakens. Here, limitation dissolves and all realities exist simultaneously. The path you walk in waking life is but one thread among countless others. The secret is to choose consciously which thread you will weave. Your practice tonight, As you lie in bed, close your eyes and imagine yourself standing before a portal of light. Beyond it shimmer endless doorways, each leading to a version of your life. Whisper, I choose the highest possibility. I step into the timeline of my greatest self. See yourself walking through the portal, entering the reality where your desires already exist. Fall asleep with this vision, trusting your subconscious to align your waking world with the path you have chosen. The portal is infinite, and within it, you are free. Chapter 27. The Energy Signature Designer. Every being radiates an energy signature, a frequency unique as a fingerprint. This signature draws experiences, people, and opportunities into your life. You may believe chance rules your world, but in truth, what you emit is what you attract. By consciously designing your energy signature, you become the author of your reality. Magnolia, a musician who longed for recognition, spent years playing in taverns where no one listened. She carried bitterness, resentment, and doubt. Her music reflected this heaviness, and life echoed it back. One night, she dreamed she stood in front of a canvas painted with light. The strokes formed her energy field, but its colors were dull, muddied by despair. A voice whispered, "You are the painter of your signature. Choose again." When she awoke, she began a new practice. Each evening, she sat before bed, closed her eyes, and imagined herself surrounded by radiant color. She chose golden hues for abundance, rose for love, emerald for healing, violet for inspiration. She whispered, "I radiate joy, I radiate worth, I radiate success." Over time, her energy shifted. Audiences began to respond, opportunities flowed, and her music traveled beyond her imagination. Her signature had been rewritten. Your energy signature is your true calling card. Long before words are spoken or actions taken, your frequency announces who you are. The universe responds accordingly. Your practice tonight. Sit quietly before sleep and imagine your energy field surrounding you like a luminous aura. Ask yourself, what color is it now? Does it reflect my highest self? If it feels dull, choose again. Visualize painting your aura with vibrant colors aligned with your desires. Whisper, "I design my energy signature to match my destiny." As you fall asleep, see your aura radiating into the universe, drawing all that matches its frequency into your life. You are not bound to the signature you have carried. You are the artist, and with every choice, you are painting the masterpiece of your destiny. Chapter 28. The Synchronicity Orchestrator. Life is not random. What seems like coincidence is often divine arrangement, an unseen symphony weaving your desires into reality. Synchronicity is the universe's language of confirmation, the mysterious alignment of events that prove you are walking the path of destiny. To awaken as the orchestrator of synchronicity is to step into a dance with the cosmos itself. Clementine, a wandering artist, once doubted her worth. She longed to display her work, but feared rejection. One night she whispered before sleep, "If I am meant to share my art, show me a sign." The next morning, as she strolled through the market, she overheard a stranger mention an upcoming exhibition seeking unknown artists. She submitted her work hesitantly, only to be chosen as the highlight of the show. From that point, her life flowed with an uncanny rhythm. Meetings at the perfect moment, doors opening with perfect timing, words spoken by strangers answering questions she had not dared to ask aloud. Synchronicity is not luck. It is alignment. When your inner vibration harmonizes with your outer world, events click into place with elegance. The song of your subconscious becomes audible in waking life, guiding you forward like a hidden melody. Your practice tonight, before bed, state a clear intention. Perhaps you seek clarity in love, success in work, or guidance on your path. Then request a sign from the universe. A symbol, a phrase, a number, something unmistakable. Whisper, synchronize my reality with my destiny. Show me the sign I seek. As you drift into sleep, know that your request has been heard. In the days that follow, remain alert. Signs will appear through people, through songs, through dreams, through chance encounters. Do not dismiss them. They are not chance. They are evidence of the orchestra playing on your behalf. To orchestrate synchronicity is not to control events, but to align with them. When your heart, your mind, and your energy sing in harmony, life responds with echoes, guiding you gently but powerfully toward your breakthrough. Chapter 29. The Master Key Holder. There comes a moment in every seeker's journey when they realize the power they sought outside has always been within. The prayers, the rituals, the practices, all were not about gaining something new, but remembering the truth. You hold the master key. Wilhelmina, a woman of quiet presence, spent decades searching. She traveled to temples, sought teachers, performed endless rituals, yet always she felt the same emptiness. One evening, in exhaustion, she collapsed in her small room, whispering, "What am I missing?" That night she dreamed of a vast hall filled with locked doors. She searched frantically for keys, growing more desperate until she realized one truth. The key had always been in her hand. When she placed it into the lock, every door opened at once, and the hall was filled with radiant light. When she awoke, she understood. She had always been the source. The practices were not wrong. They were scaffolding, supporting her until she was ready to see. But the key was never outside. It was her awareness, her belief, her consciousness. You too hold the master key. Every chapter you have walked through has been preparing you for this moment, not to rely on external forms alone, but to realize your own infinite power. The subconscious, the energy field, the visions, the symbols, all are extensions of your awareness. You are the dreamer and the dream. Your practice tonight, sit in silence and imagine a golden key in your hand. Whisper, "I hold the master key. I open the doors of my destiny." Visualize yourself unlocking a vast hall of radiant possibilities. Feel each door swing wide with ease, revealing abundance, love, peace, and fulfillment. Fall asleep holding this image, trusting that as the dreamer of your life, you choose which doors remain open. The master key is awareness. When you realize you are the creator, not the created, every lock dissolves, and every threshold is yours to cross. Chapter 30. The Awakened Dreamer's Graduation. Graduation is not the end. It is the recognition that you have become what you sought, that the journey is now lived not as theory, but as embodiment. The awakened dreamer does not simply read of creation, they create. They do not merely practice rituals, they live them. They do not search for the path, they walk it as the path itself. Praphany, once a seeker like you, had studied countless teachings. She had gathered practices, spoken affirmations, followed rituals faithfully, yet something within her longed for integration. She realized her breakthrough was not to master each technique separately, but to weave them into one seamless flow of being. Some nights she practiced gratitude, other nights vision, other nights ancestral connection. Eventually she discovered she no longer needed to separate them, for they had all merged into her. Her every breath became prayer, her every step a ritual, her every night a sacred act of creation. This is the true graduation, not the abandonment of what you have learned, but its embodiment until life itself becomes the ceremony. You no longer need to chase teens, for you live as a sign. You no longer need to ask for miracles, for your very presence creates them. You no longer seek your destiny, for you are destiny walking. Your practice tonight is simple. As you lie in bed, release the need to do anything. Whisper only this: I am the dreamer, awake. My life is the dream made real. Rest not as a seeker, but as a creator. Allow your sleep to be not practice, but mastery. Graduation is the point where you no longer separate waking and dreaming, conscious and subconscious, seeker and found. You live as wholeness. You live as creation. You live as the awakened dreamer. This is your moment of arrival, yet also the beginning of a new dance. You are not at the end. You are at the threshold of infinite creation, carrying within you the wisdom of every chapter, the fire of every practice, the truth of every whisper. The dream is no longer separate from you. You are the dream, living and breathing, awake and eternal.